Okay, hello, you guys. It is the middle of the night, essentially. It's after 1 o'clock in the morning, but I wanted to come on here and make my video because I guess this was just the most convenient time for me. So I'm filming this technically the same day as my last video, but obviously I look a lot different. So obviously it's the middle of the night. I had some time to do my makeup and just kind of reconvene for my day. But let me tell you, I'd actually wanted to make this video a couple hours ago, but I had to get myself together, right? Basically, long story short, I had somebody on not the video I just posted, like right before this, the one before that. Because when I first saw these things, it was before I officially posted my last video. If you see the spit flying, no, you didn't. But yeah, before that last video, someone had commented a list of questions that I thought were so interesting, and then somebody else went through the thread, and they were like, "Can you do a reading on this person and Drake?" And I laughed so hard at that because I was like, why do you care about Drake? I found it funny mostly because Drake likes, like, they were just like, everybody on Lipstick Alley says that Drake really likes this person. And I was like, Drake likes everybody. Like, whenever you debut, if you're a black artist, 9 times out of 10, Drake is going to be in your face for a feature, a one and done, and then you move on, you know? But the way it was phrased was so funny that I was just like, F it, I'm going to read it. I'm sorry, F it, I'm going to do it. But then I decided to go on Lipstick Alley because I was telling, like, whoever had commented, I was like, people are always telling me about this place and the theories that go on here. And I've, like, looked at the thread briefly, but, like, I never have actually looked in depth past, like, two comments. Honestly, I'm on social media and I get on social media a lot, but because I've been working and then I spend so much time creating content and editing, I don't have a lot of time outside of work to start new forms of social media that I'm not already on. Because even the ones I'm already on, I'm barely on there, like not really engaging because I'm just so busy these days. So I go on Lipstick Alley to go to this thread because another thing I told this person is um I told her I'm gonna answer a question about Drake in my next video. So can you just go on there and share it for me? Because yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know what the thread is. I don't know what it looks like. This is just me organically having these thoughts, and then I come to find out that other people are having the same kind of like insights or whatever. And so I go on there finally to like look through because I've tried a couple times, but this is the first time I really got to see. And I told this girl, oh, post share my video on there because I didn't think that because I didn't know these people, they didn't know me. Honey, I seen like 3 or 4 of my videos from this year specifically on there already. And y'all niggas is talking about me. And like, I'm not offended or whatever. A lot of it is actually quite amusing. It's quite funny to me. But I was gagged because I was like, oh, y'all niggas really got opinions on the readings that I was doing. So you know what we're going to do before we start this video? I'm going to debunk some of these Lipstick Alley comments. Because I don't know if y'all was talking like that because you didn't think I would see it, because I really wasn't in that thread. I just found out that shit is apparently it goes back all the way to 20. I think the thread goes back to 2021, but people have been talking about this since 2019. I don't know, y'all niggas. This is something I organically found and felt. But apparently because this is such a deep theory, y'all are just so rooted to talking about people and like I said, I'm not offended or anything. I actually think it's quite funny. But I made a list of some of the comments. I screenshotted them because I wanted to just talk about them specifically. So yeah, so we're gonna start off with that today. Yeah, cause y'all niggas, y'all low key got me fucked up. Like I'm not mad. It's funny. It's a key. Like I can take a joke and I can take constructive criticism. Like I'm really not butthurt about it. But it's like, was you saying that because you didn't think I was gonna see it? Because I hadn't seen it until today. Yeah, do not get fresh with me. Anyway, so the first one I saw that kind of disturbed my spirit was like, oh, someone had said that I seem confused about this girl's ethnicity. And I want to say this. They had said specifically that I had said in one video that she was African, and then in another one she was African American. You guys, especially if you are Black American, I need you to understand that it's possible to be both, because being first generation is a thing. You want to know how I know? Because I am first generation. As in, my ethnicity comes from a specific place in Africa, number one, but I was born and I was raised in America, number two. So you see how that's both at the same time? So this could easily be somebody who was born and raised in America, but they have lineage from another place. I was also talking about this person could be Creole. So that in itself is another way where you can be quote unquote fully American, but at the same time have ethnicities that directly link to Africa or just Black ancestry outside of the United States, because I've said before in my videos, there are a bunch of different kinds of Creole people throughout the world. Being Black and being African does not look one way, because guess what? Immigration exists. You guys, no one is confused. I think that you guys are not really, especially if you don't read tarot, and I'm gonna get into that. Especially if you don't read tarot, some of y'all don't understand that like energy shifts so much, and being able to interpret something is not necessarily, how do I put this? Being able to interpret something does not mean that you're gonna get a picture perfect um vision of it, because trust me, there are quite a few things I've channeled where I've described it perfectly, but I wasn't able to put the picture together quote unquote perfectly. Like, let me give you a good example. One of my coworkers, I was doing a reading for her, and because I knew her personally, the information that was coming up in this reading was talking about she was going to be pregnant, right? And I told her, mind you, we had done this a couple of months ago, and I told her the baby was going to be due, or she would get pregnant sometime in April or March, right? So I go through, I describe her pregnancy, I describe the baby father, whatever, because it's just coming through to me so strong. Because I knew her and because I kind of knew her dating life, I I assume things about her, or just like what the energy gave me. There are certain things that I wouldn't have thought were happening, if that makes sense. But when I tell you to a T, I described this girl's pregnancy and I described the baby father. Do you know that girl was pregnant in that moment? And had she delivered the baby, she did not. But had she delivered the baby, that baby would have been born in March and April. You see how that is a perfect example of, you can say everything right, but when people are living, breathing humans with free will to do whatever they want, things come out a little bit differently than they can be interpreted. Like I said, I'm not offended. I know a lot of people are curious, but I just want to say, bitch, if you don't think I'm doing a good job, if you think it's confusing, get your ass on this YouTube and you do it. And there's a reason why y'all niggas don't. Like when you're able to interpret energy, it's not as clean and perfect as you would like it. God does not, or spirit does not speak in, they do not speak in these clear, concise ways. You have to be able to interpret it. I've been doing this for 6 almost 7 years, so trust me, I know how to work with it. I'm sorry that if it's not in perfectly like perfect definitions, but sometimes ethnicity and race is not even like that. Just like y'all was whooping Tyler ass, sometimes ethnicity and race or nationality are not these perfect little boundaries. I also think that we need to, and some other people have said this in the comments of the thread, I think we also just in general need to stop harping so badly on, is this person African? Is this person American? Why does it matter? This person is clearly black at the end of the day. But that was just quite interesting to me, because you can be both at the same time. Not a lot of people are, not everybody is, but there are people who are, and I know because I'm one of them, right? Someone complained that I admire myself too much. And I just want to say this. Number one, and if I say nothing else, understand this. I'm a motherfucking Leo girl. That's what I do. Okay. I come on this bitch looking nice. Okay. I had to stare at myself. I know you guys come for information, but I look at myself in these videos because I like to look at myself. So I'm just not gonna stop doing that, because I'm a Leo. This is what I came here to do. Duh. I saw somebody talking about how this person just something about witchcraft or whatever, saying that this person wasn't necessarily doing witchcraft, but people would see her as a witch. Let's be honest, black people see anything that's outside of this very strict box of Christianity. A lot of black people see anything outside of this strict box of Christianity as demonic. You could be doing hoodoo, which literally invokes the Bible. People will call it demonic. I've seen people like Nigerian people, like if you practice Ifa. I've seen Nigerian people, Yoruba people in Nigeria calling Ifa demonic. A religion that's in their language. Like, we have to stop acting like people are not quick to label anything demonic that they don't understand. Girl, they was calling Beyonce demonic for single ladies. Girl, do you know, if you understood how much Beyonce probably prays and how much the people, like, if you read me in this book, that lady is sanctified. Like, God is always in everything that she does. So the fact that people are calling her Illuminati for a black and white music video, like, let's stop acting like black people are just so rational when it comes to religion and anything that they cannot perfectly fit into a box. That's just like, you're not being realistic. Also, in general, I want to say that people are also not understanding that, like I said, because people have free will. It's clear that everybody who is looking into this energy is looking at the same person, but it feels different because guess what? Everybody sees different timelines. They talk to their people differently. Not everybody can interpret everything the same way. Until we see this person, we're not going to know who's truly right. But that's not to say that anybody is truly wrong, because guess what? And I want people to consider this. Let's say that I say that this person is going to have a major love of their life, right? And they're just going to be together till their demise. What if this person, they die at 40, or their person dies at 40? Because I saw somebody say, I'm not mad at this, but for example, somebody was like, oh, they said that I said that the partner was black, but somebody else said that the partner was white, her partner was white. What if the person that she's with her soulmate is black and he dies when he's 40, so she marries a white man. Like several things can exist at the same time. People have I saw people saying that my readings are kind of all over the place. Like I said, if y'all were able to channel and see certain things the way that other people are, you would understand why I'm so erratic. At the end of the day, complain about it all that you want, say what you want about it, whether or not it's a, you know, a real critique or it's just a note. If you could see what I see, because at the end of the day, who else is doing it to this extent? If you could see what I see, you would understand. And that's actually one of the, especially because I know some of you guys, you're seeing some of the more like the later videos, but a lot of the stuff that I started doing last summer has mentioned that this person's energy is erratic. I don't sound like this when I do readings for everybody. I don't. You know, I mimic the energy that I'm in, so maybe she's just a crazy ass bitch. Like, you have to be a little bit crazy to be that successful, right? Right. Also specifically on ethnicity, I saw people say like I saw Indian, I said that before. I get Blasian, I get just this person. Somebody else described it the way that I think it is. This person might be fully black, but you might look at them and think that they have features from a different culture. So it's like they could look like they're from something else. Maybe they are mixed with something down the line, whether they know or not. Yeah. Also, to the point of being a little bit sporadic or all over the place, that's I also want to say, if I've never made this clear before, that is why I choose to include captions on all my videos, because I know I talk fast. I know that the energy coming through is a lot at one time, but it's like I said, if you could hear what I hear, if you could see what I see, you would understand why I feel this way. Because I don't feel like that every single time I channel. I don't speak like this every single time I channel. Everybody's energy is different. Like, you know, there are people who I've done personals for who has been the most chillest thing. But if this is someone who has a lot of, you know, if they're an anxious person, of course I'm going to come on the camera and be like a fucking squirrel, you know. Or just imagine a legacy this big that could change the world this much. Do you think anybody sane who can read in depth like I can is going to just be like quiet as a church mouse about it? Hell no. Because like, if this is going to change the world, why wouldn't I be excited, or why wouldn't I be anxious, or why wouldn't I be scatterbrained? Like, and I've also seen people say things like, you know, she does the work of 20 people. If you do stuff like that, do you think that you're just going to be the same normal, like, you know, organized person doing the work of 20 people? That is not something that's going, like, sane people, calm people don't do stuff like that. They don't. Also, the last comment that I found quite interesting, that someone was like, "Oh, they didn't talk about how successful this person is." I often associate like Diamond, whether it's like albums or singles, with this person, but it's really just like, do you want me to give a figure of like how many records they're ever gonna sell? Like when you ask like, "Oh, I've never spoken about how successful she's going to be," like, what do you even measure success by? You know what I'm trying to say? Because like, for example, people might talk about Nicki Minaj being the best female rapper ever, but she's never gotten a Grammy. You know, for example, people might talk about Beyonce's the best performer ever, but there are people who in pop music who we know cannot sing better than her or perform better than her with a fucking damn, but they sell more singles than her. So what exactly is your measure of success? Do you want to know how much money this person's gonna make? Do you want to know how many albums they're gonna sell? Like, what do you mean by how successful is this person gonna be? You know, and if we talk about Michael Jackson level, you know, what about her is like Michael Jackson? Is it the fact that she makes music videos? Is the fact that she's super creative? Like, I don't even know if you can define what you mean by that, because like, there's so many different ways that you can kind of identify success, and not everybody who is successful is going to have everything, because like Nicki Minaj don't have a Grammy, you know, but no one will say that anybody raps better than her. So like, what does that mean exactly? You just let me know. I'm not on Lipstick Alley Bad. I'm not gonna stay on Lipstick Alley Bad. If y'all talk about me, I will find out, and I will talk about I will debunk more comments if I have to. Like I said, I'm not mad. This is just quite amusing to me, because there are certain things that I'm like, I don't understand how that's confusing. I feel like if you're in my position, you would understand why it's not confusing. But like, you know, I can kind of understand when you're not somebody who can necessarily read energy. To you, you think it's like this simple, concise thing, and like, it's not, and it never has been. It never has been. Especially when you're somebody who you're tapping into something, like I said, tapping into something this big, and kind of unforeseen. Like, this is not a celebrity that we see out in the world already. You're talking about essentially a prophecy, a premonition of what you think is going to happen. And like I said, free will is a thing, and timelines change all the time. But yeah, that's my little segment of debunking you guys' comments. Like I said, if I see any more that I find interesting, just the same way that when you guys comment under my videos, if I think it's cool enough, I'll make a video. If I see any more comments about myself I found quite interesting, I will debunk them, because yeah, these are not, they're like, I really want to keep on reiterating, I'm not upset, because I think people kind of assume that like reacting to any sort of thing that's not kissing your ass is like, your butt hurt about it. But like, I guess these things they deepen conversation. Like I'm very, what I was saying, like I'm a Leo sun, I'm a Libra moon. Like we can go back and forth all day about about intellectualism. Anyways, yeah. So first thing I want to say is I wrote these questions down on a, what is this, like a portfolio, like folder paper. Anyways, it's because I was at work when I first got the comment, and so I couldn't find paper at first, like regular paper, and so I picked up one of those, and I was like, maybe this person just has a stock portfolio, because a lot of these questions were like questions about the career, like specific moments in the career, and I just found these so interesting. I feel like these are questions that really give insight to like why we would love this person, not just like just the bigger parts of the legacy, but just like the specific moments. Because if you're a Beyonce fan, you know how you felt when Beyonce got on that stage at the 2003 BET Awards. You know how you felt when Homecoming came out. Like focus on smaller, significantly impactful moments mean a lot more to me than just talking about, like I said, how many albums is she gonna sell? Is she gonna be famous like Michael Jackson? Are 4 billion people gonna know her name? Like these are a lot more interesting, so we'll see. Okay, so the first question is, what will her social media presence be like? See, like stuff like that is cunt to me because it's a very insightful but fun question that is relevant. Like that's quite relevant to like the daily life. It's not just about the big moments. Hold on. Okay, I feel like I've spoken about this before. I'm honestly not going to go back through my videos either. Her social media presence. This person, okay, I feel like this might be somebody who doesn't necessarily post super often, but when they post, it's very impactful post. So this could be like, I'm honestly thinking about how Beyonce kind of posts sporadically. Like she might not post for like a month or 2 months, but then she's gonna show you, her behind the scenes photos from a certain gathering. I really don't feel like this person is an everyday kind of social media person, but they could, be posting when they pop out or when they look really good. They could always be very hot. The word popular is coming through on the Instagram as well. This might even be somebody who posts things and then maybe doesn't talk about it, or it's photos that they think are quite like how do I put this? Like just nonchalant, but other people can be like, "Oh my god, so beautiful." Um I think just like any other celebrity, this person can get hate in their comments, but I do think a lot of why people like this person is because they feel like she's so beautiful. Hold on. Her social media presence. Um I will say that I feel like, and I said this before. I know for a fact people don't feel like she talks enough on social media. So it's like in general, this person's career is marked by a lot of mystery. Like she does not engage a lot. She does not explain herself a lot. It's like she could post once a week, but people just feel like, damn, you're not gonna talk to us. You're just gonna post a sexy picture and then go. I feel like this person is very aware about their sexiness too. To them, like I said, the photos could be quite nonchalant or just like whatever, just something in my camera roll, just to let you guys know I'm alive. But other people could be like, "Oh my god, so beautiful." Not to say she looks bad in them, but it was just a very, you didn't think too much about the post. Like Rihanna has a couple photos like super plain, like normal looking photos, behind like a white screen, but like they ran Tumblr, for example. Like it's that kind of energy of like this is light work, like this ain't nothing too much, but people are like, you sexy ass bitch. It's not even me, somebody who feels the need to gatekeep herself, or she has a hard time, the word sabotage is coming through, she has a hard time dealing with a lot of positive product, the word product is coming through, she has a hard time dealing with a lot of positive energy, or people like praising her. Like some people really enjoy the praise. This could be somebody who gets very overwhelmed by people. It doesn't matter if it's positive comments. Just having a lot of people commenting on her could be something this person wants to avoid. So even if people had the best things to say about her, she's like, I don't really care. I don't really want the validation, whether it's good or bad. But this is someone who definitely knows that she's beautiful. It's just like sometimes when people come at you really aggressively, it feels shallow, or it doesn't. It starts to feel dystopian. Like it doesn't feel real, because you kind of feel like, do people mean this? Do they have the best intentions out for me? Or like, what are people doing with these photos? Like, everybody knows the dark side of social media. Not everything is positive. You know how people will take a normal photo today and make it an AI, a naked video of you, whatever. So yeah, she does not like a lot of people knowing who she is, but a lot of people are turned on by her. A lot of people can love her pictures. This could be random. I get this energy of random like celebrities saving her photos. This is not just like fan accounts who are like making it her Abby. It's like, imagine, I was gonna say Drake. Imagine Drake having this person that has as his lock screen. Never met this girl, never talked to her a day in her life. Like that kind of stuff it can be scary when you're not necessarily wanting that attention. It doesn't matter if you know you're beautiful. If you don't want the attention, people like lusting after you or just like fawning over you is a lot. Um Yeah, and I really do think that this person does not enjoy attention much. I think that's very funny. She might value her privacy a lot. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna look cute, but not too much. I'm not gonna try too hard because y'all are crazy. We have the Emperor, we have the Eight of Pentacles. She might even meet her lover through Instagram, or he might see her photos and know, damn, I want her. Like, she definitely looks very good on the internet, I'll tell you that much. And her photos are very popular. I'm thinking about Ruby Rose. So this is someone whose sex appeal comes through a lot, even if they are quite simple photos, or she could just be a very sexy, like just a good looking person. First selfie that she takes we have the Ace of Swords. First selfie that she takes of the day could be it's a fucking banger. Like, she just looks good. Like, this is somebody who, it doesn't matter what she does, she looks really nice in all her photos. She doesn't have to try hard. Like, it's no filter. I didn't edit this. I just took it straight from I might have taken this on the Instagram camera and just posted it. And people are like, hot damn. I'm telling you, if this person does not DM her on Instagram, he's definitely watching the Instagram photos, and that begins his planning and plotting of like, damn, I want to talk to her. I want to get close to her. He might just shoot his shot through I'll definitely say it might be like TikTok or something. Like, I definitely feel like this person's going to use Instagram, or sorry, social media, to start talking to her, but it's going to start with some of these Instagram photos. She can make a lot of money. She could have a lot of people reaching out to her. I'm seeing Little Baby. I'm not saying that he's going to talk to her, but this could be other rappers or just men who, like, maybe she feels like she's a little bit out of their league, or they're not necessarily her type, but they're quite successful men who want to talk to her because of them photos. Yeah, like I said, there are other celebrities who are getting quite familiar, like low-key overly familiar with her photos. Like I said, saving it. I have her on a t-shirt. I have her as my background. I almost get this energy of having her on a watch, or if someone's like, I'm gonna buy you a watch or something like that. I see this person in heels, so they can feel like this person carries their femininity well. They can just feel like they're very feminine and pretty. Like, men can like that about this person a lot. Someone had actually also asked that, does she have a more masculine or feminine energy? The personality might be quite, and I feel like I said this before, but the personality might be quite masculine, but the presentation is quite feminine. Just like Megan Thee Stallion, she's like talking about riding it on her knees, but you'll always see her out in a heel and a skirt, crop top, like hair flouncing, hair always done, nails always done. And like, men, this drives people crazy about her. I also think it's quite interesting because I said before, this is a queer person, and that's coming through. So she could even be kind of hyper feminine, and men, but because sometimes when women are hyper feminine, it can throw straight men off. Like, I'm thinking about like Gyaru. Like, not every man is going to be into that, but that's like peak feminine style, right? But people could really love her expressions. This might be somebody who, I know a lot of girls get this, especially femme girls get this, but like, people don't think that she looks gay, or they don't necessarily associate this level of femininity with gayness. They could just think that, she looks really good, or she has this very unique take on femininity that we really like. Like I said, this person could wear a lot of jewelry, or just be adorned really well. This might be why some of those photos attract her partner, because like I said, he's looking at them and he's like, I can tell that I know you. Like, the way that you decorate yourself, I can tell that I've known you before, I've seen you before, my soul knows you, and I'm highly attracted to these. Like, and like I'm telling you, it's going to be it might even be some of these Instagram photos that like that take her off, or like make her go viral. I want to say viral sensation. So like, that might be a big part of her legacy, either like her beauty making her famous, or I don't know, like there might be some conversation about that to some extent. Like, maybe she's been, people, there's a lot of photos of her, like Megan Thee Stallion, people are always bringing up her throwback photos and videos. Like, people can feel like she's always been this beautiful, or maybe she has, like, there's definitely some clout from beauty. There's definitely some clout from beauty. Now, I say that a lot, where even I was chatting with Michael Jackson, and he was like, this person doesn't use their beauty enough. So another thing I would recommend to this person is probably to post more. Especially if, right, because it's one thing if you have the platform, right, you can kind of ignore people, but if you're trying to build a brand, it probably is the best to put yourself out there. Because I definitely don't feel like this person, they definitely look good a lot, but they don't take enough pictures, they don't post enough photos. And Spirit might be like, girl, every day for a week or for a month, you need to do a new look and post on TikTok and watch your following grow. That might be what's coming through. I also want to say that I know people are waiting for this person to appear, but like I said, the shifts are happening in this person. So you need to understand that, like, just because you don't necessarily physically see it does not mean the work is not being done. That's why it's taking years for this person to appear in the first place, because they, people are saying 2019, 2021, 2023, 2025. How do you know that this person did not have certain insights that were happening? You just don't see this person yet. But I do feel like people will know this person. I said before, also people fighting over them is a big thing. So just beware of that. Isn't that how Ruby Rose got famous? She was just another, like, like Instagram, like what do they used to call her, like Twitter honey. Like she used to post her photos and she was just a really cute girl, and I just literally got her a platform. Like I'm telling you, this person might not even have. I was gonna say she might not have a specific talent, or like maybe the Instagram is quite plain, but like the photos are just popping off. Um, she really doesn't. The word patient is coming through. She really does not like this attention. I'm telling you, and that might be why this person doesn't post that much in the first place. Like they get. Actually, this could honestly be somebody who's quite averse to attention. Um, but they kind of know that they have that special that knack for virality, or people want to see them. She don't even know that's gonna bring her man. I said before that she could actually be quite averse to meeting him too. So yeah, this could definitely be something that starts online. I'm thinking about Gen Z love, FYP love. Okay. But I will say, I also want to say that this is not just taking any kind of photo. I would definitely recommend this person to either take quite creative photos or have even quite creative makeup on. Like I do think this person needs to kind of invest in like I'm thinking about how Beyonce, that she did that one video of her dancing to Cha Cha by what's his name, Dram. Like they need to maybe edit their photos a little bit, or like I said, have really fun looks going on. Like this is somebody who needs to try really hard. Like this is, like I said, it might be like a photo that they took casually or it's the first take or whatever, but they still might need to make it look a little bit special, or maybe post a lot. I just feel like there's a lot of creativity surrounding these that she could tap into as well. Like give people a show when they come. I think her version of people is making her be a little bit lackadaisical when Spirit is like, you can make that look prettier, or you could edit that in a fun way. Because Beyonce, like she chopped the fuck out that video. Like it's a very organic video of her dancing, if that makes sense. But at the same time, she edited it to the point where it's so fun. That might be another thing this person aspires, kind of the ways that people edit their photos, or the ways that people post on the internet. Like remember that one girl who made that makeup music, that makeup musically, and it literally like changed makeup TikTok forever. Like that's how people promote their stuff now, with music or with sounds. But at the time people thought she was crazy, or it was just very new to be doing it. Yeah. Will she have a signature style or era that defines a generation's fashion sense? Just like Britney with the schoolgirl, and then Rihanna with the good girl gone bad. Whew! Bitch, it's cold outside. Um, I'm thinking about my blush. I wonder if that's significant. It might be. Maybe it has to do with the makeup specifically. This could also be this person's body type. I hate to say it, because but how they say bodies come in and out of fashion. Like this might be somebody who they have a very nice body. So people, I said that before, where people are like, we don't want no hard ass butt, we don't want no big ass hard ass butt. That could be significant as well. Um, this person could be very. I feel like I said this before. Pastel as well. Pastel. I mentioned bangs before. Like maximalist. There's a lot going on with this person. I don't know if this is necessarily a specific era though. Like, I'm thinking about Katy Perry and Teenage Dream. For example, like Teenage Dream Katy, like she had like the short bangs, like she had, super dark hair, but then she had these like super fun, wild outfits going on. I do feel like this person is more pastel than anything, like more feminine and pretty and kind of maximalist in their look. But she could get a little bit alt or a little bit dark with it, or have tinges of like, like a Spock bang here, and like a piercing there. Like I do think that she's more colorful than anything, but she could have her serious or her more alternative moments about her. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see a specific, like I don't see the fashion from a specific era being a thing. When I got this question, the first thing I thought of was Loud by Rihanna, but I don't think that she has specific eras. This might be somebody who excuse me, this might be somebody who has a signature look. For example, like I mentioned, Katy Perry. And, obviously, Katy Perry, for a long part of her career, her signature was her dark black hair. Once she cut it and she had the pixie, people just acted like they'd never seen that lady a day in their life. And the momentum kind of never came back. I'm thinking about Nicki Minaj and how she's associated with, like, super long hair. So she might have style. Oh, sorry. She might have style that's like a signature, like a signature hair color or haircut. But I don't necessarily see a specific era that changes fashion. Um, And you know what it is? I also feel like some of her looks are a little bit too avant-garde to be copied on the daily. Like, you know, Euphoria and makeup is like, you know, was a thing and it was cute, but it wasn't necessarily something that people were doing like every day. So I really don't see this as something that is accessible or it's for everybody. You know, you probably have to be a bad bitch to pull this off wherever you at, you know, very creative or just different. Like I don't think it's something that you can do every day. Like it's just not something that, you know, I want to say like normal people do. Like short bangs is not the hardest thing to find nowadays, but it's definitely like if you just go amongst like if you just go like your local mall or whatever, the amount of people like imagine the amount of people who have short bangs who are not working in a hot topic. Right? Like it's not going to be that many, even though online you might see the alternative hairstyles a lot and you see a lot of inspo. In real life, not a lot of people are just rocking that hairstyle a lot. So I just feel like it's a little bit too different for people to kind of really go outside and mimic. Um, I mean, like this might. I'm thinking about SZA and that slime green hair, so she might have like you know certain styles that like are trends, but it's not. You know, for example, when SZA had that slime green hair, it was a thing for the next couple of years, but you know, it's not like right now. It's not like a thing to you know to look like that. So it could be like a fad. I'll say that much, like a fad. Like oh, she wears her hair like this. I'm gonna wear my hair like this, but it's not necessarily like to me. It doesn't give like an era. Like it's not really giving an era of fashion. You know, but I do think that people love her and they think she's a fashionista. But you know, for example, like Zendaya is a style icon. You don't see girls out here trying to dress like Zendaya because you can't necessarily do that on a daily basis. Like it just is not a thing. You know, this is the kind of person style who it's really hers. I would say that much. She's very unique, and you kind of know what is hers. This might even be maybe her peers are looking like her a little bit. You know, but even then, you girl, you know who mother is. You know who the queen is. Um, yeah, I also want to say that that might be some past life karma too. You know, people following her trends a lot. So maybe she, like I said, if she was like some sort of queen or royalty, or people looked up to her in the past life, this is you know some of that getting her flowers for things that she did not get in the past life in terms of fashion and people wanting to be like her in terms of aesthetic. But this I will say that this aesthetic is getting her a lot of suitors, like a lot of suitors in real life on the internet. Yeah. Look, this is probably the most interesting question. What will her fandom be like? Um, how intense? Are they a large internet fan base? Okay. Okay. I don't really get that this is quite an obnoxious or like violent fan base, but I'm thinking about armies, like the BTS armies, where they could definitely be quite a big fan base. I'll tell you that much. They are quite big. So this could definitely I said before the K-poppies could love her. Like this is somebody who they know you in Brazil and they know you in Korea and they know you in Sydney and they know you in Lagos and they know you in London and they know you in Los Angeles. Like this could be somebody who has a hard time being alias no matter what country that she goes to. I do feel like she has quite a kind fan base. This might have been people who I don't know what I'm thinking of specifically, but you know, some people you know, some fans like they complain about how they go to concerts and people be stinking and rude. And this bitch did this to me in the concert. I feel like her fans are quite helpful. I'm honestly thinking about how Beyonce fans, like during the Renaissance era, you know, everybody had like their own dress code. So I just feel like their fans are on kind of one sound, one accord. I also want to say that either the fandom or this person themselves does not allow kind of bullying to go on because that's been one of my biggest critiques of the BTS fan base. Not that I hate them, but their fans can be so insufferable because if they want to attack you, if they want to jump you, they will do that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they beat people up on the internet. So I feel like their fans are quite loving. I feel like they're quite community oriented, whether this is like fans who are just really nice to each other or they're literally helping other people out. I will say that these people could definitely like they could definitely be a little bit like watch who the fuck you speaking on. Like, you know, you might not even fully say her name in a tweet and they come in the DMs like who the fuck was that about, bitch? I want to say kill them with kindness. Like I don't feel like these are the kinds of people to dox you, but it's like I mean if you want to get into it, I'm trying not to be fucked up, but I'm thinking about after the whole situation with Megan, how like somebody was talking to Kelsey. I'm gonna put this screenshot in, but someone was talking to Kelsey and it was like, "That's why your daddy blood and guts is on the road." Like if you send for her, like I'll put it like this: these are people who are quite nice when not provoked, but I feel like if you send for this person and they catch you, they're gonna come at you. You know, they might not post your address on the internet, bitch, but they're gonna give you a dragon. You post your daughter, you post your mama, you post your dead cousin. we finna get up that dead cousin for sure. Um, people can know them as, I'll say, generally a sane fan base until negative things are said. They could go into defense mode. I will say that similar to other fandoms, it's people who are stands, they're crazy. So I will say that these people, some of them might live in Delulu land where it's like whatever that she does, I have to protect her, and not everything that every artist does needs to be protected. Like, it's freedom of speech to have an opinion. It's one thing if you're like, fuck that bitch, she's a stupid, untalented bitch and whatever. But it's another thing to be like, I didn't like that album, and you like, fuck you, bitch. Like, that's a whole different thing, right? I want to say it's like they have their. I feel like they have a lot more good days than bad, but not everybody is gonna. She might have some shooters who don't play about her. I'll say that much. She might have a couple snipers amongst it. I just feel like the general consensus is they're not nasty, but it's like it might be a legendary day where it's like you said something about my bitch. Watch this, like. I wonder if she could have dated some fans, or some of these fans have like misplaced like romantic feelings for her, or you deal with like the word paradoxical is coming through. I don't know. She has some people. It could even be people who hate her, who are going to end up being really big fans of her. Something to that extent. She might even be somebody who's known for turning haters into fans. Um, that's quite interesting. I feel like they can get nasty, but I don't feel like they're necessarily a nasty fan base. I don't feel like they're necessarily a nasty fan base, but I do feel like, a couple bad apples ruin the bunch. They are quite a large fan base. These can also be people who are quite talented and creative. That might be why they're such positive energy. Maybe it's not necessarily that they're so friendly. It could be that they have great minds. But they, if they want to get down and dirty, they're nasty. Or people can know these people get bucked. Like, if you say the wrong thing, she might not necessarily condone bullying or whatever, and when it's like unprovoked, but it's like maybe if you provoke, like, attack that bitch. Like, yeah, that if there's any energy that's kind of hypocritical, it might even be that. I wonder if the fans are kind of hypocrites, or they're like, we're kind or whatever, and then they be whooping people ass. Like, it's definitely good. I feel like it's more good than bad, but it's some people, when they bad, they get into your ass, like, or when they feel like you're an enemy, they're nasty. So I personally wouldn't want to get on their bad side. Any legendary performances this person is gonna have? Is she gonna have like VMA moments, Super Bowl, or VMA? These things that are referenced later. She could have an amazing like award show performance. This might be somebody who's like, I don't want to say that she'll never perform on the Super Bowl, but this might be somebody who's very strategic. They might be quite political. And so they're like, I definitely think I move with intention in terms of where I want to put my energy, or let people, like, what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't necessarily let every platform have my greatness. And I said before that this is the kind of person where she don't even show up. She can show up. I'm not saying that she never goes to award shows, but it's like, you're not going to catch her at every single one, on every single carpet. I feel like this person, their stage art could be quite significant. I'm thinking about like Solange, and just like how, and I said before that this person is somebody who, she can dance, but she's not necessarily somebody who's just so focused on, like, like Beyonce is going to be dancing hard as hell the entire performance. I think this person is more obsessed with like acting, or really, beautiful stage sets. Like, I do feel like some of the aesthetics. I'm thinking about like Lola Falana, like, for example, she's dancing in that, but it's not necessarily the hardest 8 count, and there is a lot of like illusion that goes into the performance. So I do think this person focuses more on that. I think this person can be known for their artful displays, or them just being a very colorful person. And people can feel like this person puts on very beautiful shows. Like, if she goes on tour, this is like the most magical thing ever. Like, you want to take pictures under the lights and shit like that. I also want to say that this person can actually create beautiful things that don't cost so much money. Like sets that don't cost so much money, or music videos that don't cost so much. Like, cost is very cost effective, and you might think more money went into this than it did. This person might be a talented director, and that's why they're not necessarily having to break their bank to make things come to life. But I will think people will copy her a lot. They will reference her a lot. Like, seriously reference her. It might even be her peers. It's not just like, it might not even be like, in 20 years they're trying to copy this. It's like, oh, they copying your shit right now. Like, right now. All of a sudden she performs this way, and then they want to do that too. They might even copy. I said before. I don't think I said this before. Like, her wedding, the way that her and her partner look. Like, I just think that she has a lot of pivotal moments in her life that people are like, I want mine to look like that. Like, after Solange got married, and in 2016, and a lot of people were taking photos like that. Like, she's definitely gonna have people literally copying the wedding, possibly like the way that she looks for her wedding, if she has her hair a certain way or a certain color. This could even be like her body type, like people are trying to achieve how she looks and maybe a certain kinds of clothes or on stage. um I would say copy her job, the music that she makes. Like there's a lot of people playing in her stuff, bitch. um I feel like award shows, but I honestly, this might be like the Grammys or something like that. I don't really feel the VMAs. I hate to say that they're kind of a dying breed. MTV, I think, just hasn't invested in a brand. But one thing I'll say is that if she dance on a show like that or she perform at a show like that, she could easily help revive the genre. Like I said, wherever that she puts her energy, people follow. And so people could feel like, please, the Grammys want her to show up because it's like the viewership, you're gonna set that shit right through the roof. Like, please show up, girl, please. Okay, is she the type to sweep at the Grammys? The big four. I immediately hear best new artist. This might be somebody who goes home. I'm not gonna lie. This might be somebody who deserves album of the year, but doesn't get it. This might be somebody who gets artist of the year. Is that or like album of the year is the biggest one, right? Is album of the year, record of the year, is a song of the year, and then best new artist. I don't understand what the. I'm sorry, no, I don't remember what the big four are. This might even be like, I'm getting Moonlight, so I don't know if there's somebody who like, they announced the wrong person. Like they announced the wrong person. This might even be somebody who like she might win and she's not even. I said that before. She might win, but she's not even at that fucking award show because she's like, girl, I'm not gonna win that fucking. I'm about to sit in my home and watch, and she watching at home like, who won what? So this might even be that, like, for example, if she won best new artist, she might be there physically, but she might win other things and she's not even there. Um, I said before, this person kind of gives me EGOT, so I just wouldn't be surprised. This might even be over time. She takes home all four. Has anybody ever done that before? Like they have all four, because best new artist is a hard one to win. It's a harder one to win because even if you're deserving, there's just so many other people. But I do think over time, these might even be over the span of 4 or 5 years. You know how Beyonce, like, not to say that the Grammys just gave her the Grammy just to give it to her, but like when she got the album of the year, like when she had won the Grammy that set her apart in terms of her having the most ever, like I don't want to say it was like a sympathy give, but it's kind of like a thing of like, they kind of want to look good for doing that. They kind of want the recognition because at the end of the day, even if it's Beyonce's award, it kind of gets people to kind of believe in the validity of the Grammys. So, they were very like, of course, we're going to give this to you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know if it's kind of like a thing where it's like, you know what? Like I said, because you bring so much viewership or so much investment in this, we're going to make sure to kind of, like, so people could be glazing her for real. Like, it's definitely a strategic or political move to support her. But I feel like she will win. It's funny. I feel like, I don't know, like, obviously, I don't think she'll win everything at one time. I do think it's over a couple of years, but it might be, like I'm telling you, to me, it kind of gives less than a 10-year span. She could definitely win in the major four categories. This might even be like her first Grammy award. She could win maybe two. Like, you know how crazy it would be your debut, like on your debut album or whatever, to take home best new artist, like that year, take home best new artist and then album of the year. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she won multiple at one time, but not necessarily all four. But it might even be a thing where she maybe wins. I feel like three is a lot. Like, what I'm trying to say, but like you'd have to release something that's literally life changing, like literally life changing. But this is that kind of person, and that's why it was very interesting to me when someone was talking about how do you measure success, because is it like the fact that you took home three major category projects, but it would just have to be. I just feel like she's that good where maybe she could or she was deserving of it, because I just feel like three is crazy for one person to get in one go. But this might be why it only takes her 4 or 5 years to achieve these things. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, but it's crazy. It will be a crazy feat for sure. But like I said, maybe people are just this obsessed with her, so they're like I said, it's a very political move. Or like the body of work could also just be that good. Yeah. Um, how will she handle the cameras? Is it like a zoo, like the paparazzi making breaking news out of normal things? I think that this person handles very well the cameras. I think she's actually quite gracious. I will also say, not to blame Brittany, but I do think that a lot of people call the paparazzi on themselves. So I do think that this person is able to move with the air of privacy. I do want to say that when the people catch her, she's ready for the cameras, whether she's posing or she just always looks nice. I think you'd be surprised at how nice she looks on camera, or how often they don't follow her. You know, like for example, she could live in like a gated community. So like, you know that one video of Kanye where they was literally in his, they're damn near in his garage getting pictures of him.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Shut the fuck up.
How's it going, Kanye?
It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. and you ask me how it's going. You know I don't want you to say nothing to me. You hear what I'm saying?
Come on, Kanye. You know we like you.
Shut the fuck
You
up.
left it.
It's 4 a.m. You blood-sucking mosquito.
Like, I just don't think she has a lot of moments like that. I don't think she's being followed well, or if people are trying to follow her, it's like they're getting false information. Maybe they're not able to get good pictures. There's people might also have people around her who like protect her, because like think about it, Beyonce, like of course people like the paparazzi get her, but Beyonce is not just all of the paparazzi. Just like even Rihanna to this day, people get her ass doing anything. People might catch Beyonce, but it's really off guard, and she's able to kind of move the way that she wants without having too much attention on her all the time. I feel like this person does a really good job of navigating that. Like I just feel like people don't know where she's at, so it's very hard to catch her. She also looks very good in these pictures a lot. She knows she could have beautiful hair, even if this person is looking disheveled or they're without makeup. I feel like she makes breaking news because she might look good in art or getting her off guard pictures, but I don't think that she's being stalked violently. I really don't. Or if they're stalking her, they're not finding her, or maybe she's just not overwhelmed by the attention. But I don't necessarily see them, her, busting into other cars because the paparazzi is on her ass. Like I don't think that she's having those issues. It's just something about her being quite graceful in these photos. Graceful about seeing the paparazzi, or just like she always looks good. Maybe she's willing to pose, and so they get their pictures and then they run away. It's just something about them not being able to bother her much. Whether this is just the way that she reacts, or like they literally can't catch her. They can't catch her looking off guard. Something within that realm. We have the Five of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Like she just don't look rough. Like I'm thinking about Halle Bailey when they caught her ass pregnant, when she wasn't really trying to tell people that she was pregnant. Like you just will never catch her doing no crazy. Like you're not gonna catch her slipping if you thought that's what you were gonna do. Like you're not gonna expose a relationship that she didn't already catch. You're not gonna catch her looking rough. You're not gonna catch her in a place where she was uncomfortable, or she felt like she was being crazy stalked, or her privacy was being invaded. Like I said, people might think that they miss her a lot. Like, oh, they said that she was here. They get there, she left 15 minutes ago. Type shit. Like I see the moon, like where is she at? People protect her privacy for sure, or she rides with people who know how to stay alias. This might even be that she lives in a country, or she goes to places where it's like the paparazzi is not gonna catch you. Like people might see you on the road, but like you're not necessarily like you're not going to Starbucks and people are like, hey, Rihanna, pose. Like she knows where to stay so that people don't find her. Especially if she's from not necessarily living in LA or lives outside of the city. Like or she's not she's not in New York, so paparazzi are not catching her there. She could be in fucking West Bubblefuck, fucking West Virginia. Where the paparazzi is gonna catch you there, right? And then the final question about Drake, they had also asked about Rihanna and how other celebrities feel about her. I said her other peers, and when I said her other peers, I meant other women in the Afrobeat space. So this is like like I said, I reference Tyler a lot. Like it kind of gives, like I'm specifically talking about African artists when I say that. I've never really tapped into Western artists aside from Miss Beyonce. How does Drake view this person? Drake might feel like this person is hiding from him. This person might have him blocked, or really is just not, like if he's texting her, airing the number. She might feel like he's kind of on her dick. I don't really want to put words in nobody's mouth, but I definitely see her being overwhelmed by him. Like ew, get away from me. It's because we have the Nine of Wands and we have the Princess of Wands. Like this could be somebody who is very not attracted to him. I've said before that she quite likes women, so she could be like, you're not even the kind of man. If I was gonna go to that side, you're not even close to the kind of man. Like you making my coochie shrivel up. Like not feeling you, right? This might even be a man who because he doesn't seem like the kind of person to kind of really take rejection well. I'm not gonna lie. So this could kind of be a thing of like, oh, I want you, you don't want me, fuck you, bitch. Like either like he never wanted her, or the feeling is mutual, right? And it wasn't mutual, but like, yeah. his ego could be quite hurt by this. I do think that in comparison to some other L's, he might take it in silence, especially because it's not like, it's not like other artists where maybe he got the chance to collab with them and then all of a sudden she was like, oh, I don't want you. This could be somebody who from jump is just like, don't text me, nigga. Like, don't DM me. Like with the Seven of Pentacles, like he doesn't even get the chance to invest or pretend that they had some sort of relationship, get any sort of type of close to this person. We have the Hangman, like, and it could like he starts like that and it stays like that. Like she literally was like, hell nah. Like not even trying to fake be your friend, or if she was being nice to him, the word patient is coming through again. If she was being nice to him, he could tell she was just doing that for show. Like she was not feeling me. Like she did not want nothing to do with me. It just feels fake. Yeah, we have the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like she kind of feels like she knows who he is, or like I have a good understanding of you, or I just know that this relationship is not conducive to me. Like we could, but why would we? Like overwhelmingly does not want to do this. So she's just like, yeah, no. Very, like they had a Ten of Swords, especially because he can be overwhelming her, so she could just be trying to be nice because she could tell you kind of on my dick right now. Like definitely with the King of Wands, you kind of on my dick right now. It definitely, I definitely want to say that even if it's just between them, she can tell that he's very attracted to her. Maybe he'll admit this to her, or she could just tell when a nigga is hungry because he seems hungry. Like he doesn't. I want to say in the public he doesn't seem crazy pressed, but like I said, it's sometimes when a man hits you with that nonchalance, like I didn't want you anyway, nigga, you wanted her bad. So yeah, she's not feeling him, and he's like, damn, that's embarrassing. Because like I said, no types of leeway. Like I said, I remember what you did last year. I remember what you did this year. Like I remember when they was talking and saying you was a weirdo. I believe you. No shade, Aubrey, but like this is how she feels. Like don't want nothing to do with you. Literally, I saw enough when they were talking about you. When they was talking about you, I seen enough. I didn't need to get to know for myself. He kind of hates. He kind of feels like, damn, I wish she would give me a chance to explain myself or whatever, but she's not interested. Especially if she already has a man or she has somebody that she likes. She's like, what? Like I said, what is the point of this? We're gonna date for 6 months and then you're gonna talk shit about me in a song. Like, what are we gonna like? What are we really doing here? Because I want to get married. I want to be in a serious relationship. If I'm gonna be, like I said, if I'm gonna be with any man, let it be a man who's gonna change my life for the positive. I do not want you. Um, Anything else about Drake before we move on to Rihanna and other celebrities? One thing I will say about him, I'm going to organically move on, but he doesn't. He's kind of not over it. Like he could see her with somebody else, especially if this is somebody else who he's worked with or looks up to him. He could be like, "Yo, boyfriend is a fan. I'm his hero, and you're not talking to me." You know how they say like Donald Trump will move in close to certain men just to get close to their wives? Like it's that kind of energy of like, I'm gonna hang out with your boyfriend because I want you, and the boyfriend might just be fanned out, or he was, and it's like, boy, like just making it worse and being weirder. Like this is why people like. I feel like in her mind she's like, this is why people say what they say about you because you're a weirdo. Like, leave me. Like, emphasis on leave me alone because you're trying really hard right now. Um, yeah, this could be somebody who I don't know if he's sending her inappropriate photos or talking about how he wants to get her excited, or he's like, I could do what you. I see the Empress, like I could do what you like, type of energy. So now I can understand why people were saying that about him. But at most, it's a friend zone. Like at most, as a friend zone, but I promise you, this person puts on a fake smile when he comes around, like, hi, but I'm not really liking you, like, not really loving you. Because he might have love in mind, and she's like, you're lucky that I pretended to even care about you. This might even be somebody, how did he try to kiss Rihanna that one time? I wonder if he might try to pull a fast one with her, like, let me get you in this place, let's hang out. And it's like, no, we see the devil. Like, yeah, no. I know shades, Aubrey. There's a lot of men who I describe. I would not want to be locked in a room with you, alone with you. So yeah, like, I don't want to be in no position. You understand? I don't want to be in no position where it's just the two of us. Let me be free by myself. One thing I would say to her, if she's nice to him or kind of being kind in order to avoid conflict, because women do that where they act like they want to be your friend and they're chill. No, I'll just take your number, knowing good and well she's gonna block you. I would just advise this person, don't even fake the fuck with him. The first side of freakiness, leave that nigga alone. Like, because he's incessant. He's incessant. He definitely is very sexually attracted to her. He could think about her. He could fantasize about her. He might call other people her name or reference her in music too. He might act like she has such a big ego, or she's pig headed or whatever, and it's like, because I didn't want you, because I didn't want to sleep with you, whatever. No amount of money can unlame you to her, and she's definitely like, you're childish and you're lame and you're 40 and you're acting like this. Yeah. Let's see, Rihanna, other celebrities and their opinions on her. I feel like people who are real, like who are really successful. I said before, like, I don't think they're gonna sit here and be jealous about this person. They can be like, congratulations, we'll take a photo. You love my music when you were a kid, cool. I don't feel like she has a lot of competition from people who are real legends and real greats, because Rihanna at this point, that's 20 years of greatness. Like, these bitches who've been here for less than 10 years, but they've been here for a minute, of course they're gonna feel threatened because they know that at the end of the day, 5 years is nothing. If they want to get you gone tomorrow, then you gone. Once your career is at like 15 years, that's when you can start to say, like, 15 years of like killing it, that's when you can start to say, oh, I'm really that nigga, and you don't gotta try too hard. Anything less than 10 years, you're always on shaky ground. You're always on shaky ground, especially if you're only at like year 5 or so. Next year, you could not be here, and it happens. That less than 5 years is really not a promise for anything. I really don't feel like Rihanna has strong thoughts on this person. I really don't. Like, I really don't. I think that she's just like cool, and she goes on about her day. Like I said, even Beyonce, like, I didn't think that she was jealous or whatever, but I said if she might feel away because like that it's kind of like passing on the crown of status. But I don't feel like Rihanna's unearthed by this person. I don't think that she thinks about her. She might be like, cute girl, cute songs, not thinking too hard about it. She might not even be, not that she doesn't like her, but she might not even be quite a big fan of her. She's just like, yeah, another black girl doing great. That's about it. Like, I'm thinking about Michelle Obama. Like, you know how you meet, like when you're in a meet and greet, like you're just like, hi, smile for the picture, and then you move on. Like, yeah, strictly business, strictly business. Um, yeah, strictly business. Just like, don't get too much in my face. Let's not. It's almost giving don't talk too much. Not even in a bad way, but like, let's just keep it brief. Like, I don't want to get too intertwined with you because there's no reason to. She has her own family, she has her own life. She's not even really doing music right now. Any other celebrities? I feel like a lot of female rappers could want to collab with this person. I feel like she could be very strategic about the collab. She's not just gonna, no shade to Lotto or whatever, but she might not necessarily be on a Lotto or an Ice Spice song, but she might be like, you know what, I like you, Megan, or I like you, Flo, so I'll do something with you. She's definitely cherry picking other women who she's working with, especially women outside of this African space. Um, so it might also be somebody, I said before, she doesn't move for money, she moves for art. So that could be significant as well. She's like, I'm not necessarily choosing to be on a song with, like, let's say Megan, for example, because she's the biggest female rapper. It's because I know it's going to be a great song. So that could be a big focus on her. It's like, I'm only working with it if I think it's an amazing song or I can improve it. And so this is why you could see some of her collabs with black women in the rap space be so good. But it's definitely few and far between. I honestly only get like 2 or 3 songs. People might feel like they want more, but I feel like this person, like, I'm thinking about a specific song. I'm not gonna say it because I hate it, but like, when you overcommit or just do stuff, just to get the feature, the quality starts to go down. Like, this is someone who's worried more about the quality of music than anything, and that could also be a past life legacy that she's really inspired by, like really wanting to raise the quality or the standards of living for people. But this could be specifically in art or music. It might be something that she lost touch with or wasn't allowed to do enough, or just she didn't get to do because maybe, like I said, her and her lover could have been gonna start something just like they're doing this life. They could have been destined to start something, but they never got the chance. It's funny because the lover card is on the bottom. So, she could feel like, I'm just investing in what's specific to me. I see a museum. So like I said, this could be somebody who is creating a lot of generational hits, but it's not necessarily like, when I say a lot of generational hits, like obviously a lot of it could be her own, but she's not going to create anything with anybody else. That's not really good. This could be somebody who's very female centered, so you might not necessarily see her work with a lot of men. Like I said, I keep seeing Lil Baby. I don't know why. Um, I don't necessarily see Lil Baby getting that, but like maybe she could want to work with him, or maybe that's one of like it might be just like 3 rappers. Like I said, just very, like I like with the Four Pentacles, very few. It might even be that Spirit could want her to do more, or like, for example, like if she works with these 3 people, they might be like constant collaborators. So she's like, you know what, I'm not gonna, there's 10 other girls who I can work with, but I'm not gonna work with them. I might just work with one girl 10 times. Especially in the American rap space. She could also be destined to work with some R&B girls. I see Coco Jones. I get this energy. We're also quite soulful. This could also be some of the new black female artists. So they might not all be Afrobeats. There could be a lot of them who are pop stars, or like, they play in soul. I said before, there's a lot of experimentation in those genres. So it could be other women that we don't necessarily know. I want to say up to 3 of them could be women who are Black American, or they make music that is not necessarily inherently African, like it's not Afrobeats. And that could be why she's prospering those genres as well. I said before that she could be somebody who's known for creating innovation in the genre, but not necessarily even like having a crazy focus on that, or that's not necessarily all that she does. Or it's not the biggest thing that she does. Like this is like someone who's like, she's the queen of soul because she created this like super legendary record, but she's majorly an Afrobeats artist. She just did that one record and it changed the world. Um, I think for the questions I have tonight, that is it. So thank you. This is going to be hell on earth because this is like an hour. But yeah, listen, Allie, keep playing with me if you want to. Good night.